morning. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. No fewer than 10 persons are feared killed after a female suicide bomber blew herself up at the Federal College of Education, Katangara, Niger, in northwest Nigeria. The town of Katangara is just some 150 kilometers from the state capital, Minna. Spokesperson of the Niger State Police Command, Ibrahim Gambari, confirmed the incident, even though he said details of the attack remain sketchy. Reports, however, say the explosion occurred in front of the school's library. It is not certain yet who is responsible for the attack, but accusing fingers points to Boko Haram. Just 2 days ago, another suicide bomber unleashed terrors on students of Government Science School in Potiskum, Yobe State, killing about 47 of them in an apparent suicide attack during their Monday morning assembly. Meanwhile, school officials say the death toll of the Monday suicide bomb attack at Government Comprehensive Senior Science School in Potiskum, Yobe State, has now risen to 58. The death toll was initially put at 47 in the immediate aftermath of the attack, but the number of injured persons is now said to have risen to 117, as against 79 earlier reported. No group has also claimed responsibility for the attack, but suspicion falls on the militant sect, Boko Haram. The Independent Electoral Commission INEC in Borno State, northeast Nigeria, says it would make provisions for internally displaced persons to cast their votes in the 2015 general elections. Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Professor Tukur Saad, made the disclosure during a visit to the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar Ibn Gabai, in Maiduguri, the state capital. Saad assured that the commission would ensure that all internally displaced persons who are eligible to vote get registered and collect their permanent voters' cards in order to exercise their franchise in the elections next year. He, however, said the commission was yet to work out modalities for the internally displaced persons to vote. The REC was speaking against the backdrop of the distribution of the PVCs in the states, scheduled to commence November 28. He said the issuance of PVCs to registered voters will take place in only 12 local government areas in the state considered to be relatively safe. Borno in the northeast Nigeria has been the worst hit by the Boko Haram insurgency, with many lives lost and thousands of persons displaced in a series of attacks. Youths in Lagos State have been admonished to see their votes as their power to ensuring that only the right candidates emerge in the 2015 general elections. Among those who gave their advice is the Lagos State Governor, Babatunde Fashola, at a youth summit organized by the youth wing of Nigeria's main opposition party, the All Progressives Congress in Lagos. TV360's Chidima Chikize was there and now reports.
That portion of the Constitution.
It was a gathering of youths at the Muson Center in Lagos, a summit with key focus on building a new Nigeria for new Nigerians.
We are here to announce the demise of old Nigeria.
The forum was organized by the All Progressives Congress APC in collaboration with Human Rights Campaign Group Act Now and the All Progressives Youth Forum to enlighten young people ahead of the 2015 general elections to cast their votes wisely. Guest speaker was Governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola.
The new Nigeria will profit enormously from the energetic, adventurous, and can-do spirit of your generation, with the guidance and experience of my generation and some of those ahead of me. This is a synergy that must be well woven along a common belief of what roles each one of us has to play and who does what. In order to secure Nigeria, because we have agreed first, our first agreement was that a safer and secure Nigeria was a new Nigeria. In order to do that, clearly we cannot send our weakest, we cannot send the oldest, we cannot send the infirm to secure us. It is the youngest and the strongest who must fight to protect and secure a new Nigeria.
INEC has already begun the distribution of permanent voters' cards in the country ahead of the elections next year. Other speakers at the event admonished the youth to avail themselves of the opportunity to register to vote and ensure that only the right candidates emerge in 2015.
We have a fresh opportunity. We have a fresh opportunity
And that opportunity is right here. On November the 13th, if you've never voted before, you've seen the video, go out and register to vote. Tell all your folks, tell all your siblings who are 18 and above, tell your friends, make the noise. They've got to go out to register to what? To vote. So November 13th, we've got to come out in our numbers. We've got to come out in our numbers. So here we are. We are talking about the common man in Nigeria. What is the fate of the common man? The fate of the common man is with you. The fate of the common man is with you, young Nigerians.
You heard what His Excellency Governor Fashola said. He owed a lot of credit to the growth of the state, to the new innovations that's happened to Lagos State, to the youths, to those youthful, energetic engineers, doctors, and then practitioners that you've seen. And then it's not too far from it. He also made one very important fact, which is the fact that being a youth is not necessarily about the age, but about what you have in your heart, how your mind thinks, which we don't have in today's system and the way Nigeria has been run or governed. And that's why he's saying, listen, you guys have a better advantage because you're young, you're energetic. Why not channel it into something more productive? So that's the major difference we have. We're not saying out totally with the elderly people. No, that's not what he's even saying. That's not what the new Nigeria is saying. He's saying a new way of thinking. This is 2014. Then why then do we still think like have myopic, very mediocre ways of achieving things?
Here is what some of the participants had to say about the event.
I feel that it is a medium for youth to be enlightened and for us to vote wisely and know what actually person we are voting for and the things we are liable to gain from this thing.
INEC has scheduled the general elections in Nigeria for February next year. The main opposition, APC, is using this event to galvanize young people's support for the party ahead of that elections. Chidinma Chikeze, TV360, Lagos.
The Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, has warned police officers against the use of excessive force in carrying out their responsibilities. Abba was speaking at the force headquarters in Abuja Wednesday during the presentation of the Human Rights Manual for policemen and human rights desk officers in the country. The document was prepared in support from the Clean Foundation, the Swiss Embassy, and other foreign missions. The IGP said human rights would now be embedded into the country's curriculum of all police training colleges nationwide, and that the manuals will be used to all policemen so that they can educate themselves on how to effectively relate with members of the public as they discharge their responsibilities. He said the manual would serve as a guide to every police officer so as to curtail excessive use of force. Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan on Wednesday formally unveiled the new 100 Naira commemorative notes at the Presidential Villa Abuja to mark the country's centenary celebration. President Jonathan unveiled the notes during the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja, accompanied by Vice President Namadi Sambo and the Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor Godwin Emefiele. CBN Governor Emefiele, while presenting the centenary note, said it was issued to mark 100 years of the country's amalgamation. He also said countries like Morocco, Russia, and Costa Rica had in the past issued currencies to mark similar occasions. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, News Now continues.
What up, y'all? They call me Ice Prince man.
My name is Femi Anikula Kukuti.
Hi, my name is Kwame.
Oluwakemi. Grace Isugekbe.
This is Phil.
My name is Obo, President of the Musicians Union of Ghana.
Oma Wonder.
K1 the Ultimate, the king of Fiji music.
Two-Face Idibia, Nel Oliver, Beninois.
My name is Elisa.
T-Mac Omashola Easily.
It's Charles from Classic FM 97.3.
My name is Dario Adene.
And this is
All Africa Music Awards.
Afrima.
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 Afrima, yeah.
Afrima.
Afrima. Enjoy.
Afrima, let's go.
Make sure you be there. Olamide Badu is going to be there.
You already know it's coming. It's going down November 9th in Lagos. And this is bringing the whole of Africa together in one booth.
If you miss it, blame yourself.
Welcome back to News Now. The federal government has approved the sum of 50 billion naira for road projects in the Federal Capital Territory. The road projects were part of 5 contracts approved during a meeting of the Federal Executive Council on Wednesday. President Goodluck Jonathan, who presided over the FEC meeting, also approved a 43.8 billion naira contract for the upgrading of a section of the East-West Road. The figures were announced during a briefing of the State House correspondents jointly by Supervising Minister of Information, Dr. Nuruddin Mohammed, Minister of FCT, Senator Bala Mohammed, Minister of Water Resources, Mrs. Sarah Ochekwe, and the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Stephen Oru. FCT Minister Bala Mohammed said the Council approved the award of contracts for the extension of Inner Southern Expressway from Southern Parkway to Ring Road in the FCT in the sum of 43.5 billion naira. He added that the FEC also approved the contract for consultancy services for the construction of Nigeria's Cultural Center and Millennium Tower in Abuja in the sum of 383 million naira. Mali health officials have confirmed the country's second death from the deadly Ebola virus. Officials say a nurse who had treated a man who had arrived from Guinea at the Pasteur Clinic in Bamako had died after contracting the disease. An official at the Pasteur Clinic in the capital Bamako, where the male nurse worked, said the nurse had also been in contact with a Guinean national who died of the illness as well. He said tests had confirmed the presence of the Ebola virus in the victim. The clinic is now in quarantine as part of measures to curb the virus from spreading. The latest case is unrelated to the first, when a 2-year-old girl died from the disease in late October. Nearly 5,000 people have now been killed in the West African outbreak of the deadly Ebola virus, mostly in Guinea, Liberia, and Sierra Leone. Mali has now become the 6th West African country to be affected by the outbreak, although Nigeria and Senegal have since been declared virus-free by the WHO. China and the US have unveiled new pledges on the greenhouse gas emissions as the leaders of both countries met for talks in Beijing. US President Barack Obama said the move was historic as he set a new goal of reducing US levels between 26% to 28% by 2025, compared with 2005 levels. China did not set a specific target, but said emissions would peak by 2030. The two countries also agreed to reduce the possibility of military accidents in the air and sea. The news came during a state visit by Mr. Obama to Beijing, which followed a major Asian regional summit. It is the first time China, the world's biggest polluter, has set an approximate date for emissions to peak. The two countries together produce about 45% of the world's carbon dioxide. The unexpected announcement is a bid to boost efforts to secure a global deal on reducing emissions after 2020 to be finalized next year in Paris. Head coach of Nigeria's Super Eagles, Stephen Keshi, Tuesday said that the team was focused and ready to take on Congo in the African Cup of Nations qualifier match in Pointe-Noire. Keshi was speaking with newsmen shortly after the team's training session at the FIFA Gold Pitch National Stadium. He expressed confidence in the ability of the team, adding that he was positive about their fitness and readiness for the match. The Super Eagles are expected to leave for Pointe-Noire on Thursday for the match. Athletes found guilty of doping materials are now likely to face a jail term of up to 3 years as the German government is set to introduce a tough anti-doping law by next year. Germany's Interior Minister Thomas de Maizière, while speaking at a press conference, said the aim of the law is to preserve the integrity of sport and to combat doping in the game. The 46-page draft of the new law stipulates that athletes who have failed both the A and B doping tests can now be prosecuted. Under the new law, possession of doping products would also be a punishable offense regardless of the amount. The proposal also issues a maximum sentence of up to 10 years in extreme cases for those found guilty of supplying athletes with doping substances. We've come to the end of news now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.